Thanks again for staying with me on the program TMI Monday. I did say at the beginning that we have a very special guest in the studio, and we'll kick off our discussion segment, our conversations on the program with one of them. I'd like to thank very specially the District Governor, Rotary International, District 9141, Rotarian Nze Anizo. Just give you a background check on him so you appreciate the quality of his personality. He is the Veterinary Director of Pentagon Veterinary Services, a veterinary clinic and animal behavior consulting center based in Port Harcourt, pathfinder of veterinary profession in Nigeria, former chairman of Rivers and Bayelsa State branch of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, NVMA, a former Rotaract, having joined the junior arm of Rotary as a student at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. A Rotarian of Rotary Club of Trans Amadi from year 2000, has served Rotary in several capacities. Club President 2010-2011, emerged Best President of the Year. Assistant Governor 2013-2014, emerged Best Assistant Governor of the Year with a club he supervised, also emerging the Best Club. Rotarian Anizo is deeply passionate about Rotary and in particular Rotary's public image. His work in this field earned him Rotary International President's Citation Award, being the only African with this award that year, 2005-2006. Other awards include Rotary International Avenues of Service Citation, Rotary International Club Builder Award, the Rotary Foundation District Service Award, and the Rotary Foundation Citation Meritorious Service Award. Honorary Member, Rotary Club of Woji Town. Nze is a firm believer in the rule of the law and holds that leadership must be by example. His personal motto is vision to see, faith to believe, courage to do. Nze is currently serving Rotary International District 9141 as District Governor for 2019 and 2020. District 9141 comprises 4 states, Bayelsa, Edo, Delta, and Rivers, made up of 65 clubs in 20 zones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Rotarian Nze Anizo. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Such a very rich profile of humanitarian service. I like the personal slogan, I would say, which talks about the vision to see, yes, the faith to believe, and the courage to do. Yes. And you started out as a student.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that at student level, we always like to collect. I mean, some say our names at student level is give me. You take from mommy, from daddy, from uncles, everybody. From but so at such an age, at what point did you come up with the conviction that this was something that you wanted to be part of?
Okay, thank you. My journey into Rotary started from a Newsweek magazine article, okay, when I was in secondary school. So when I read it and read about what the Rotary does and what Rotarians do, it struck me as part of what I want to do as a person. So the interesting thing is that when I was entering the University of Nigeria, I had 2 expectations. One was to earn a degree, yeah, and the second was to join a Rotary club, which was why 2 weeks after my registration as a student, I bought the form and joined the Rotary club. You see, one of the things I learned early, probably from reading and from parents, okay, is that no matter how little we have, there is always somebody who we are better than. There's somebody there who thinks that, you know, sometimes you earn a salary of a particular amount and you think you don't have enough, but you'll be shocked to find out that maybe a man or woman living on your street who think you're done good because you drive a car, so he thinks you are the richest, because in his imagination, yes, you are the most wealthy person his mind can conceive. But in your own, at your own home, in your own bedroom, yes, you will be bemoaning your faith and thinking that, look, so many persons are richer than I am and I don't have enough. But somebody else, in his own littleness, actually believes that God has given you every blessing imaginable. So there's always somebody, you know, it's like a ladder. There are steps. There's always somebody less fortunate than you are. And whatever you can to uplift him is very welcome. Because like I say, if you can't give 100 naira out of 1,000, it is difficult to give 1,000 out of 100,000.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's look at the vision and mission of Rotary International, which you have been part of over these years. Could you cascade them down a little bit?
Okay, if I want to use the definition of the mission of Rotary International, the mission of Rotary International is to provide service to the needy, to promote integrity, and to advance world peace, understanding, and goodwill through a fellowship of business, professional, and community persons. That's what we do. We unite persons of different, very diverse backgrounds, very diverse demographics, and we focus on providing solutions to the needs of the society as much as we are able. You know, many persons think that Rotary is a funding organization, but that's very far from what we are. Rotary is not, the job of Rotary is not funding. We're not a funding agency. Our job is mostly in advocacy. We'll find a problem, and then we galvanize society to address that problem. Let me give you an instance. You see the cap I'm wearing, end polio now.
Yes.
In 1985, when Rotary started this journey, we never conceived that it's something we can do alone, because we knew that we were not capable of doing it alone. But by 1988, WHO has bought into the dream and galvanized the whole world. The biggest funders of the End Polio Now campaign are not Rotarians. Because out of the about $12 billion that have been spent on it yet, Rotary has brought in about 1.9 billion through our Rotary Foundation. Okay. So it is governments. So the job of Rotary is advocacy, getting persons to understand the need to provide a solution to a problem and helping to do it. Because if we don't do our job, society may never even think of some of those
that
things.
direction.
Yes, that's
so
what we do.
Rotary is not a founding organization.
It's not a funding agency.
It's an advocacy organization.
And they do, in fact, we call ourselves people of action.
Okay.
That's one of our slogans, that we are people of action. An analogy I like to give is that we're in this room and the light goes off, and maybe there are 10 persons in this room. The common likelihood is that we'll start. What do you have in Edo State? Your electricity discount?
BEDC.
BEDC.
Okay.
The common tendency is that we will start cursing BEDC, cursing the federal government, cursing the state government for the darkness. We'll continue cursing everybody we can until one of us has the presence of mind to bring out his cell phone and
turn on the light
and provide illumination.
Okay.
So Rotarians are person, and that person we call a God-made Rotarian. Because what Rotarians do is that we believe that rather than cause the darkness, as Confucius said, rather than cause the darkness, we'll strike a candle.
And provide the light.
Provide illumination.
Give the light. Okay.
Give the light. So that's what Rotarians do. We provide solutions. We don't derive joy in complaints. Oh, this is not, there's no toilet in this school, there's no water in that school. We go right ahead and find funding from our friends and our partners and provide the toilets.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. The thinking is that, well, I mean, Rotary is made up of people who are the richest in the world, in the society. What's the myth about that?
I wish. I mean, I'm sitting here with you. I lead Rotary in 4 states. There are 4 districts, only 4 governors in Nigeria for Rotary. I'm one of them. Do I look very rich to you?
Yes.
So the point is this. The point is that, no, it's actually far from. You know, what happens, we've thought about it, why society, that feeling prevails is a misconception. And I think it's because many people can't understand why we do what we do unless we have a lot of money. Why do we spend so much time, so much energy solving the needs of other people? And you know, interesting thing about Rotary is that many of the services of Rotary, like our scholarships, are not open to Rotarians and their dependents. You can't even benefit, my child can't even benefit from a Rotary scholarship. Okay. So in the mind of our people, meaning that why is Nzanizo doing this? He must be a very rich man. Because we've still not understood that giving is not for the rich. Giving is for everybody. Because no matter the level you are economically, there is something you can give. If you don't have the money to give, you give time. Like I told you that we're not a funding agency. So many of a club in Benin may have, they want to do toilets in a market in Benin. They may not have the money. What do? They do a fundraising. They come to people like you and they say, look, there's need for a toilet in this market. We need 1 million naira. How much can you give? And you give them a 50,000 naira check. and the other man gives them 100, and they pull the funds together as a catalyst, and they deliver the project. So they didn't fund that toilet from their pockets most times. Possibly members put in something, but many times they don't provide all the funding. They look out for friends and the society, government. Sometimes it's the government. The government hasn't done it because, not because he didn't have money, but he hasn't probably thought about it, or he's not even aware that such a problem exists. So what Rotary does, Rotary finds the problem and comes and says, look, there's this problem here. We want it solved. We need this amount. We don't have it. We have so. Can you bring this to match us? And collective action. That's why we say that Rotary brings people together to take action to cause positive change.
So, being membership of Rotary is not based on the size of your bank account or your pockets?
No, it's not at all.
On what size now? What is it based on?
It's based on your desire, your willingness. Let me tell you the vision of Rotary International. Our vision is that together, and you know the core words, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. That's our vision. Collective action to solve community needs. And one of our strongest points as an organization, why we have been so successful, I mean, Rotary started in 1905, the oldest service organization in the world. And why we've been so successful is that over the years we've refined, we improved on a daily basis. So we match solutions to needs, community needs. It's very possible that you go and plant a project in a community that don't need it. Yeah. You are walking past, you think they need water, so you go and do a borehole, and they don't need water. And 2 months later, the thing is dead because there's no interest. We do community needs assessments. So you talk with the people, and the people tell you what they want. Because many times, do-gooders don't look at the need. They do what satisfies them. Yeah. We have money, let's do water. Except that that community doesn't want water. They want a school. So you do the water project and they abandon it because it is not high on that list of needs. What they want is a school. So Rotary matches solutions to the needs of the people. And one of the things we've also learned over the years, and I think other organizations may need to emulate, is to base decisions on evidence. Don't decide without evidence. Base your decisions on evidence. So
there must be a research backup? Okay.
Yes, there must be a research backup to say this is what they want, and then we do it. They will protect it with their lives if it meets their needs. If it doesn't, they say, oh, maybe they got money from somewhere they want to, and then they leave it and go away. And then invest in relationships. Rotary does a lot of investing in relationships, interpersonal, corporate, intra-corporate, and all that, because we understand the truth. And that truth is that we cannot do the things we do alone. It's not possible. We must have other people. So once you invest in relationships, base your solutions on the needs of the people you want to serve. And then use evidence to take decisions. Don't take decisions based on nothing. Because many times they don't stand. You are likely to have sustainable change in the site.
If you just join us, it's still TMI Monday. I've been speaking with Rotarians and the district governor, District 9141, presiding over Edo Delta, Bayelsa, and River State, who is in the district. Shortly we'll find out from him why he is in Edo State. But back to an issue you raised earlier about the fight against polio.
Yes.
You talked about $12 billion. Right. Rotary has contributed over $1 billion. Right. Yeah, 1.9 to be exact. Yes. Now, what do you think is the major challenge why this has become a recurring decimal in terms of, despite the funding, despite the efforts like your organization, polio has consistently become an issue that is still there?
No, we are beating, I need to say this, we are beating polio mercilessly. Okay. That's the truth. You see, one of the mistakes I think we have also made as persons, organizations, is that we always look at the global picture. We want to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. So we keep that picture. So as far as we have polio in Nigeria, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, we believe we hadn't succeeded. But we lose sight of the fact that out of all the countries of the world, we have fought polio and restricted it to only 3. That's a huge success. Yes. So on that front, we are winning.
Okay.
And now Nigeria, we've done 3 years. On August 21st, we did 3 years without polio in Nigeria. And by March, April next year, Africa will be certified polio free. So we'll be dealing with only Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, what have been the challenges? One is funding. It's always there. It's been a major challenge. You see, there's no polio in America, the Americas. There's no polio in Europe. We just have polio in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Nigeria. We had in Nigeria. So naturally, at a point, there will be funder apathy. There's no polio in your country, and you keep on giving money. You know, naturally, at a point, you say, why am I doing this? Even those of us in Nigeria, there's been no polio in southern Nigeria for about 10 years, white polio virus in southern Nigeria for about 10 years. So you notice that if you look at the immunization records of the states, it's been very poor in the southeast and south-south. Apathy. You know, you start asking, why do I need to immunize my child? This disease is gone. But the danger with the polio virus, with the white polio virus, is that as far as one child has it anywhere on earth, travel, movement, immigration, every other child is at risk. That's why some people ask, why do we keep immunizing our children when we don't have polio in Edo State? Because if you leave your child, you're actually exposing him to great risk. And when you're exposing him to risk, you're exposing every other child who is unvaccinated. Because all it takes is a plane ride from Afghanistan to Nigeria. And everything goes haywire. So apathy is 1, funding is 2. Okay. Of course, we have organizations like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has been quite wonderful in funding polio. And then the Dangote Foundation also has made us proud as Nigerians because it's putting quite a lot of money into polio eradication. But another thing is crisis, conflict. If you look at the areas where you have polio, when we had problems in Nigeria, you know, we did 2 years, 5 years ago, and then we had 1 year, and then went back in Borno. Conflict, Boko Haram conflict. So there are pockets of areas in these places that the immunizers cannot reach.
So the virus stays in those areas?
It stays in those areas until it comes out. The Borno case was in an IDP camp. That was where the last case in Nigeria occurred. So you have Afghanistan with the mountaineers, the Taliban issues. You have Pakistan with the Kashmir region. So conflict makes it difficult. And of course, you know that the number of volunteers on immunization have been killed. In Nigeria, about some people were killed in Kano some time ago. So that's part of the problems. Funding, apathy. Parents who believe, read somewhere in a paper that vaccines can cause one thing or the other, and they withdraw their children, misinformation, conflict. These are major issues,
Okay, so why are you in Benin? Are you on the end polio drive again?
No.
What do you do, Benin?
We are always on an end polio drive.
Okay.
Because the fight to end polio is our organization's top priority. And it will remain so until polio is kicked out of the face of this earth. So that one is our number 1. So anywhere we are talking about polio. But the primary reason I'm in Benin, I'm here on a working visit. The Rotary rules require that every governor must visit every club in his district, his or her district, at least once in a year. And the essence is to, you're supervising the clubs. There's not much supervision you can do with telephone.
Absolutely.
So once in a while, you need to actually get your boot on the ground, sit with the Rotarians who are doing the work. Because governors don't do the work. The clubs and their members do the work. They deliver the value you give to the site. So you sit with them, you motivate them, you encourage them, and then you listen. Because there may be areas that they need support that you are not aware of. But when you sit with them in conversation, even sometimes they may not be willing to speak out about some of these things. But when you are sitting and holding around the table in a very conducive, convivial atmosphere, and you're having a conversation, you don't know the issues that will come out.
Absolutely.
Because our job as governors is to strengthen the clubs, make Rotary better and bigger and bolder. Because when we achieve this, the societies, the communities that are our core customers will have more benefits.
As district governor, you have you're going to be you have a tenure of 1 year, right?
Yes.
So what are the legacies you want to leave? I mean, looking at your profile, so much has been done already. But within this 1 year, what are those key things that
My primary
Yeah.
goal as a governor which of course the goal of our district for this 2019-2020 is to increase and grow our membership. Because in this job of service delivery, the more we are, the merrier. The more persons we have, the more resources, the more talent, the more skills, the more hands to do the work that Rotary does. We are not a contracting organization, so we don't give contracts. We do most of our work ourselves. And then to increase funding for our Rotary Foundation, because that foundation pays for most of the things our clubs do. So a club is likely to have bigger, more impactful projects with the kind of funding, grants the foundation can give than what it can raise from the locality. Okay. So the more and the way our foundation is structured is that the more you give, the more you get. Because every 3, if you give to what we call our annual fund, every 3 years, all the contribution from a district is divided into 2. 50% comes back to that district for the benefit of the communities that that district serves. So, and 50 goes to the World Fund that matches projects in future. So increasing that is one, but strengthening our clubs is my primary objective. Make our clubs better, make them deliver value, increase the value proposition that each club can give to its own members. Because when the members are happy, they give more. Absolutely. And they work more.
Absolutely. So, are there key projects you expect to inaugurate, I mean, within the period that you are in Edo State?
Yes, I know. We have 2 projects on mobility devices.
Okay.
That we're going to commission tomorrow, or today and tomorrow. But for our district, one of the projects we're asking our clubs to take on this year is what we call our Dust to Desk project. Dust to Desk.
What was that about?
And it's simple.
Okay.
We have, you know, in the Niger Delta, with all the wealth, we have too many schools where children sit on the floor. We have seen them. We have records. Too many schools, especially primary schools, where a child dresses from home, wears his uniform, goes to school, and sits on the bare floor to take classes. And it's inconceivable.
Yeah.
Because a desk doesn't cost so much.
That should happen in the first place.
It shouldn't happen in the first place. And we know that it's evidential that the more conducive a learning environment is, the more likely you are to have positive learning outcomes. A child who is seated on a desk is more likely to learn more than the child who is struggling with the dust, struggling with the sand, to listen to the teacher. So that's what we want to do this year, to move as many of our children as we possibly can, with the support of our friends, from the dust to the desk. And if we're able to achieve that, by the end of the year, in a Rotary Club year runs from July 1 to June 30. So by June 30, our term will be over. By June 30, we should be able to count and say, look, in 2019-2020 year, we moved this number of pupils in this number of schools to this number of desks. And then coupled with everything we do in maternal and child health, in disease prevention, conflict, peace building and conflict resolution, water, sanitation and hygiene, and the community economic development. We do a lot.
I know that my chairman, managing director, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Sauri Benigio, the SM of Benin, is a Poharis Fellow.
Yes.
Yeah. What are your perspective on his personalities and his impact on the world generally? I mean, at 85, stay strong and stay counting in terms of impact and achievement.
Our perspective is that he's a giver. He's a good man. He gives. He's, you know, he's giving to us. You say he's a Paris fellow now. And I know that he's a polio ambassador. So he's also committed to this fight to eradicate polio. So he's a kind of, I'm actually built to pay him a visit during this, have an interaction with him during this my stay in Benin. So he's somebody we treasure a lot in Rotary. We don't just respect him, because, I mean, just by mere fact of who he is, we will respect him anyway. But we treasure him. Because I told you that Rotary invests in relationships. Because we can't do the things we do alone. We need support, we need benefactors. And he is a benefactor to Rotary. So we value that a lot. And we wish him, he's 85, and we wish him a long healthy life.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, there could be someone watching out there who is just enthralled, enamored by some of the thoughts that you have expressed in the last couple of minutes. Oh, is probably interested in becoming a member. What are the procedures? What are the steps?
Okay. Rotary is an organization that you join by invitation only.
Okay.
And I'll explain what this means. Let's say a guest is watching and he wants to join Rotary. He has two options. You can bring out your laptop or your phone and go to www.rotary.org. And that homepage, there's a place called Club Finder. So you close your location. What Rotary will do is that they will move, there's a form, you signify interest. They will, based on your location, they will direct that inquiry to a club within that vicinity. The club will contact you.
Okay.
The other option is that you know a Rotarian, or even if you don't know, but you come to a hotel and you see a sign that says Rotary Club of ABC meets here 7:30 p.m. Show up at that meeting. The invitation is still there, and I'll tell you how it works. You invited yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But you invited yourself to the meeting, and somebody sees you and introduces you as his guest. When it is time for you to join Rotary, somebody will have to propose your name to the board of directors. So that's the invitation. So Rotary is open. It's open to we are a very diverse organization. It's open to everybody, age, and in fact, the primary definition of a Rotarian, which will guide those who want to join us, is that you must be an adult of good character, who has demonstrated leadership and has a good reputation in your business, your community, or your community. Okay. And most importantly, who is willing to serve his community and other communities around the world. So if this fits your profile, you're very welcome to join us.
All right, thank you very much, Rotarian Nze Anizo, the District Governor, Rotary International, District 9141, visiting Edo State to have interaction with the clubs and the members, and also inaugurate some projects. It's been a delight having him here, talking with him, sharing with us some of the things that define him in the early part of his school days that has helped him to become what it is in Rotary today. So inspiring. Yeah, his personal motto is the vision to see, the faith to believe, and the courage to do. Rotarian, many thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having us. Very grateful. Thank you.
It's the TMI Monday with yours sincerely. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more interviews on the show. Don't go away.